Okay, this question I had to edit down. It was kind of confusing at first, but okay. Got it now, I think. Who wins, pound for pound? Roy Jones versus Floyd Mayweather versus Sugar Ray Leonard?
Three-way?
Three-way, steel cage,
Sure.
barbed wire, explosives.
Yep.
Now,
Okay.
between these three,
I take Roy Jones as far as just basic boxing skills. You have to go with Mayweather because technically he's the best technician. If you want
best
to put it
defense,
yeah,
and
Jones
and technique as far as offense.
And Jones probably the most athletic out of the three.
Jones and Leonard are speed-based fighters.
Definitely. Take a guy like
Jones especially.
Yeah, Jones even more so than Leonard, I would say. Jones probably not the...
But of course, pound for pound and in their prime, yeah, I would have to agree. I'd go with Roy Jones.
Yeah, definitely.
He was the fastest.
Yeah, and if they were to fight each other at the same weight, at a fair weight, say they were all at the same weight.
Yeah.
Okay.
Pound for pound.
Yeah, Jones versus Mayweather. I would pick Jones, and Jones versus Leonard. I mean, I'd pick Jones. I mean, it's kind of hard to think of that because Jones is bigger than these guys, so...
Which is always the problem with pound for pound, anyhow.
It's kind of hard not to see Jones beating them, of course, just for that. But we're trying to think of them on the same weight level. And Mayweather-Leonard, that's a fight that would have been possible, of course. That's a very tough one. I could see either way, definitely. Leonard had amazing hand speed and combinations. He could put 20 punches together out of nowhere, so... Who knows?
Mayweather can defend really quickly.
Ask Injal. 100 punches. And of course,
so,
Leonard's no Injal, of course.
Leonard would have had his head up looking, at least. But and he's better.
Yeah, in every way.
Anyhow, yeah, that is true pick'em fight there. I tend to want to lean toward Mayweather because I've seen Mayweather more recently, for one thing.
I like him better, but I don't know. If I had to make a pick, I actually would probably go with Leonard, based on his the fact that he could just put amazing combinations together at any point in the fight. I mean, no matter how tired he was, he lets his hands go more than Mayweather does, and even faster than Mayweather. Putting combinations together. Okay. And more power by far, of course.
And on just flip side of that, I just think Mayweather might be able to pick off enough of those and throw back some of his own.
Never know.
To maybe nullify some of that.
Yeah. True fantasy fight there.
Tough to say, really is. Because I could go back and forth debating that one with myself, so... Yeah, thank you, Kirsten Purdy. Thank you. It's Kirsten.
Yes.
Okay.
Not Kristen.
I'm sure you've said that before. I've heard it before from you, Kirstens.
Yep.
Stop it. It's annoying.
Who cares?
But thanks for writing the question in. Okay, Roberto Duran. These are a couple more fantasy fights. We got some fantasy fights in this week. That we're pulling up this week. Yeah, this one I think was actually from like December.
Who knows? Yeah.
November somewhere. Sorry about taking so long.
Yeah.
I went way back in the mailbag this time. Anyhow, this is from one of our other constant viewers, Daniel Porcerelli.
Yeah.
Always writing good questions. Anyhow, Roberto Duran versus Julio Cesar Chavez. And Lennox Lewis versus George Foreman. Who will win these fights? Okay, let's start with Lewis-Foreman, the easier one to answer.
Yeah.
Lewis.
Yeah, I have to go with Lewis.
But...
Of course.
Lewis's chin.
Yeah, and Foreman...
And Foreman's power.
Yeah, Foreman's great power. And especially the older Foreman, because he was more skilled. The younger Foreman, I don't really think has a chance, because he's way too wide open. Lewis would pick apart all day.
I'm assuming you mean the best Lewis there was, so yeah.
Yeah.
Because the brawling 92 skinny Lewis, I think...
Yeah, he gets knocked out.
would have knocked out.
Yeah, against either Foreman, of course, then. Because, I mean, if Lewis tried to brawl with the younger Foreman, it's over for Lewis, of course. But,
I don't know, he could have brawled to a decision win over the older Foreman.
The older Foreman, I think, even knocks him out worse, actually.
I don't at all.
Just because he's...
No, I don't see that at all. I think I think he was just so much more powerful in his prime.
I think his power was pretty much the same, but
No way. I'd bet money on that. I'd bet $1 billion on that. There's no way his power was the same.
Well,
his power was awesome whenever he was in his prime. When Foreman was in his prime.
Wasn't too bad when he was.
It wasn't
older.
too bad, but it wasn't anywhere near. I mean, I don't think it was anywhere near. I don't think Evander Holyfield would have survived their match had it been what it was back when Foreman was in his prime. Although, again, had Foreman been in his prime, Holyfield would have won because he's a better fighter.
More skilled. Yeah.
So there's that. So
yes, Foreman much more skilled as an older fighter.
Strangely
Forced
enough.
to become a more skilled fighter because he didn't.
Partially because he didn't have his power.
No. But
Yes,
anyway,
that's right.
Probably because he didn't have nearly as much energy. I would think that was the reason.
Thus, not enough energy to throw that power that he used to have. Again.
Well, anyway,
Anyhow,
I would pick Lewis against either Foreman.
yeah.
The best Lewis, not the skinny one, of course.
But saying Foreman won, you think the older Foreman would have the better chance?
Yes.
I kind of tend to think the younger one would have the better chance. And landing power, because I think the younger one was more powerful. And I think that's Foreman's best chance anyhow. He has to land a big shot on Lewis.
I think he could actually jab with Lewis as the older Foreman. He put a jab out there more so he could
he put one out, period.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
that's more than...
So I think that would be his chance there, and devastating power, of course, definitely enough to knock Lewis out.
Because Foreman's prime jab was a little like this, I think.
If that.
That was a little straight there.
Yeah.
Not quite telegraphed enough, but... Anyhow, going to the other question, the Duran versus Chavez. I could see it either way. I mean, also one thing you got to take in which weight class, I guess.
Let's go with 140.
135, 140.
Yeah. So I'll go with Chavez by decision. More accurate puncher, I think. Duran had the speed advantage, definitely, I would say. But Chavez probably had more power.
I mean, if you get to skill...
I think Chavez probably had a little more skill, maybe. But Duran just so much faster.
Kind of hard to say on skill. I mean, they were pretty even.
Yeah, just a little.
Neither one of them were technicians by any means. But
and...
Especially, anyhow, I was about to say especially, but... Neither one of them were technicians by any means. No.
And Chavez, just a more accurate puncher, so I think that's what would win it out for him. Decision, no knockout. So.
And who knows if Duran quit.
Yeah,
no.
Mas.
Uno Mas.
Yep. One more.
That was how they promoted Leonard
Duran
3.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. Just recently saw the poster for the fight where it said Uno Mas in the corner. The more you know. So anyhow, thank you, Daniel Porcerelli, again, for writing this in. Thank you, all our fans, for writing these questions in. Glad to answer them. Glad to be the best show on YouTube and everything.
And now the only one, it looks like.
And there's that... I don't know, there's that, straight, whatever it is, straight boxing thing, STRAIT.
Oh,
not
the comedians doing the boxing
comedian
talk.
thing.
Not comedian.
Interesting show. Show. They actually know what they're talking about. Which surprised me. I didn't think any kind of, I wouldn't call them necessarily celebrities, semi-celebrities. Some of them have been. They've been on. All of them have been on TV.
Yeah.
So I mean, they've had that. But interesting shows. Looks like they're not doing anymore. At least on YouTube, they're doing some on another site. But anyhow, check them out. It's interesting.
Very surprising that they were as good as they were.
As good as they were, and looks like they shot one day, and
that was it.
I don't know what happened to that.
Yep.
Yeah, then there were, what some other shows there's been that didn't really pan out.
Boxing Addicts, they did 7 episodes. That's it.
What happened?